This is the April 20th online yoga with Thea class. It will be recorded for your future amusement. So on your back with your hands behind your head, fingers interlaced. Why don't we go ahead and do a head ramping before we do vagus nerve reset? It just feels like a good thing to do, something my head would like. Just press the base of the skull at the occipital ridge, press that into your stacked hands. And then release. So wait for a little and then release. And press again. So when you press the occipital ridge into your hands, your chin will drop. And you can feel that. And actually the cervical spine straightens out, and it's like traction. This is like traction for the cervical spine. So if everything we do here today, if it hurts, if it creates pain for you, you can stop or make the movement smaller or slower. I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody. And do that a couple more times. I was kind of waiting for. And now we'll go to vagus nerve reset. The vagus nerve reset, you're going to keep this position. It's going to, your hand, clasp hands are just going to keep the head stable, because you're going to move your eyeballs and nothing else, not your head, not any other part of your body. Just look to the right. And wait here for an involuntary yawn, sigh, swallow, or gulp. I'm working with a student on this who hasn't found the sigh, swallow, yawn, or gulp. And we think that she's trying too hard. So this is a turn, you know, the eyeballs are turning, but don't strain when you get to the outside edge, the range of motion of your eyeball. Don't strain. Come back to center, go to the left. Wait for an involuntary yawn, sigh, swallow, or gulp. And then come back to center. Look, eyeballs look right. Nothing else moves. Return to the center and repeat on the left. And return to center. Do this one more time. This is a great and easy movement to reduce stress, and also it opens up the shoulders and the chest and the neck. And when you're finished, you can bring your hands down by your side, by your hips, and just start to notice your breath. Notice that Kathy uses a stack of washcloths to create a neutral cervical spine, so she doesn't hyperextend her head. And you could do that too. And she adjusts it. So when her hands are behind her head, she uses less washcloths. Just start to notice your breath. It's called native breath. You're not changing anything. Just watching the breath that you came in with. This should have a grounding effect for you. So your body, your mind is noticing, and your body is noticing that you have arrived. And then go ahead and start an extended exhale breath. Just inhaling and counting the length of your inhale, and then making the exhale longer than the inhale. Inhale 1, 2, 3, and then exhale more than 3. Eventually, you try to give this to twice as much, twice as long as, make your exhale twice as long as your inhale. You may not do that today, but maybe in your practice. And now go ahead and create little claws with your fingers and massage underneath the bottom edge of the rib cage, where the rib cage and the diaphragm meet. Now, you don't want to be pressing on organs. You're pressing underneath and behind the bottom of your rib cage. Use your fingers to do that. This is going to help the diaphragm function better as a respiratory muscle. You can have both hands working on one side of the rib cage and then the other, or you can have one hand on one side of the rib cage and the other on the other side of the rib cage. And then leave your hands, one on each side of the rib cage, tucked under the rib cage, and take an inhale and watch the fingers pop out. And then exhale, and the fingers, the diaphragm allows the fingers to return. And just do that a couple of times. Breathing in and out while you continue to massage the edges of the diaphragm. You are all muted. You can unmute yourself if you need to. You're not trapped, not there anyway. And or you could chat. You could send me a message in the chat room. And I will stick around afterwards after the recording is over, after the class is over, to answer some questions, or if you guys just want to check in. We're going to work, how many people have, how will I find this out? How many people have sponge balls? I had suggested people get sponge balls. I can't tell from that. We're going to work with the sponge ball today. If you don't have a sponge ball, I want you to find like a hand towel, or you might have another ball that's not spongy. Oh, Colleen has hers. Good. I can't tell about Suzanne or Tracy. You might have another ball, and you could try to use that. It won't be as effective as this sponge ball, which is very easily obtained on Amazon. Hi, do you have a sponge ball?
Dan, I've kindly got it working.
Oh, good. Okay, good. Do you have a sponge ball, Suzanne? Oh, just a minute. You don't have a sponge ball?
I ordered it online, but it's probably not going to come for at least a few weeks. It was through Amazon Mexico.
Oh, really? They come pretty quickly now. Amazon is.
Oh, that's what they said, but hopefully it'll come sooner. But I ordered it
so
2 days ago.
Create an almost ball, and everyone's going to be prone. So everyone except Suzanne, I think, and look at her. You have a little block. Okay, right now. So that's perfect. Now we're gonna do some work with the sponge ball. I really was excited about. I'm excited about you guys having sponge balls. We're gonna be prone. So turn onto your stomach and place the ball at your belly button, and make sure that the little pokey thing is not poking towards you. It should be poking towards the floor. The ball is right underneath your belly button. You are lying on the floor with your, you have two position options for a position all of the time. You can either be up on your elbows like Kathy is now, or you can be down on the floor with your arms folded in front of you. Either way. But either way, shortly, you're going to be wanting to be moving up and down on the ball. And so then you might want to come up on your elbows, and you might want to use your toes too. But you're going to stay here and just take some aware breaths of what's happening. What is happening here, your abdomen is saying, because it's not used to being touched in this way. Probably your diaphragm, which is also involved here, is probably saying that too. So just stay here and breathe. Don't hold your breath. You might think you want to hold your breath. Just some easy breaths here. And then find a way to roll forward and backward. So Diana just arrived. I hope she has an iPad. I hope she has a sponge ball. But if not, we're working with the sponge ball today, but you could put a clumped up towel here and do similar work. So backward and forward. If you find a place that's a little achy breaky, maybe you want to stay there or get off of it. Listen to your own body and breathing and rolling back and forth over the ball. And now side to side. So stop, come back to neutral, and then side to side. And if you want to add a little something, when you go to the outside, you can roll in towards it. So as you roll and then stop and then roll, tuck your torso down toward the floor over the ball. It's, yeah, like that. If you want to add that. Otherwise, it's just a side to side movement. And the last thing you do at this same position, we're going to do the same series of movements with the ball at slightly different location. But the last thing I want you to do is just contract. So pull the abdominals in, pull the belly in, hold, and then relax. And contract. And then hold and relax, and do that a couple more times. Bring your elbows closer to each other if you can. I was just thinking about the fact that we're really also prone elbow propping here. So see if you can create a hammock between your cervical spine and the mid back. And then come back to center, neutral, and place the ball below the belly button. This might feel quite a bit different because you're pressing against some organs that probably aren't used to being pressed against. So the first thing you want to do is just stay here and compress. And breathe. So all of this work with the sponge ball along the front of the body is good for digestion, and it's also good for respiration. And then go ahead and move up and down. What would it be like, Kathy, if you lifted your head a little bit to create a longer line along your spine? Maybe not that much, but yeah, there. Let's see. I think that starts to involve the cervical spine when you can line it up with the thoracic spine. However, I might say if it becomes painful for you, then I would drop your head a little bit. Find something else. Up and down she goes. Breathing. Becoming aware of, well, some of the organs, the digestive organs are going to make you aware of this movement. You don't have to try hard to notice what's happening here. And then side to side. So first, just a straight side to side, and then you can lean into it on the edges. So start by just crossing to one side and then the other. And then if you want to add, as you get to the edge, a little dip. So you're dipping off, you're rolling more a little bit off the edge of your ball. Breathing. Come back to center and pull the belly in, contract the abdominal muscles, and hold, and then relax them. And do that a couple more times. Contract and hold, and then release. And then come back to neutral or center and bring your sponge ball above the belly button. This actually works more on the respiratory area. So the first thing you do is just wait. So find your position, your location, and wait. This also opens up the upper back. Breathing in and out. And then forward and back, or back and forth. So you're always going a little farther up and a little farther down. And side to side. Come back to neutral and then side to side. And if you want to your side to side movement, you can add a little rolling off the edges of it. Remember, you're breathing the whole time. And the last thing you're going to do here is come back to neutral and pull the belly in, contract the abdominals, hold, and then release. And repeat. We're going to move the ball up one more notch. It's going to be It's still under your chest, under your breasts, at the sternum, though. The sternum starts up at the clavicle and then comes all the way down to the chest. So still under the breasts, but farther up than you were. If there is a space like that, I would think so. And stay here and breathe. This actually, the farther up you can come, the more you're opening up your upper back and your the respiration, the diaphragm and the lungs. So find that, and back and forth you go. Down a little and up a little. Can you feel that, Kathy? Yeah. Anybody? And then side to side. Breathing. Just allowing the front of your body to open up. When you release the front of the body, the back of the body also opens up. Now, if you want to, you can drop over the edges of the ball on your side-to-side movement. And the last thing you're going to do is come back to neutral and contract the abdominals. This mostly you'll notice the upper abs, the abdominal the rectus abdominis. And release, and then contract and wait, and then release. And then remove the ball and take a crocodile rest. So just come down onto your belly and cross your hands in front of you. Bend your elbows, cross your hands, and just lie here and breathe and see if you can notice any of the activity, any of the results of it, of the movements we've done so far. Is your breath deeper, slower? Just notice. If anything dramatic happened, which could happen, just leave it for us in the chat box after the class. Go ahead and find your way onto your back with your sponge ball at your occipital ridge. Yeah, remember not to have the pokey side of the sponge ball up. So the sponge ball is at the occipital ridge, and we're going to do a neck and jaw series here. I actually usually do this with therapy balls. This is the sponge ball is a therapy ball, but with the harder, smaller therapy balls. And eventually, I'm going to invite you to get a set of those. But I like this practice also on the sponge ball. So here you are, and you're going to nod, chin up, chin down. This is a C1 glide, which sometimes we do separately, right along with the head ramp. So gliding back 10 degrees and gliding forward just to up and back. The sponge ball supports you and makes your movements safe. Keep breathing, become aware of what's happening here. This is really a movement at the occipital ridge. Come back to neutral and then take your head side to side. Make it as small. If some people don't have very much range of motion here in the in a spine twist of the cervical spine, that's what you're doing here. It's twisting. But so don't effort that. Don't make it hard. Make it a gentle side to side movement. As you do this over time, your range of motion here will get bigger. What you do when you slow things down and try to move without pain, you're telling your brain that it's safe to move in this range. And then then you will get braver, basically. Your body will get braver and try to move a little farther and go a little farther. And that's how we get both stronger and more flexible, by slowing down and taking it easy. I think I can see Kathy's range of motion already increasing with this movement. Come back to center. Then look to the right, all the way to the right. And stay looking to the right. And now nod on your ball. This is a slightly different position along the back of the neck. Come back to neutral and then go side to side, but you want to continue looking to the right. So look to the right, keep looking to the right. Make a small side to side movement. It's not big. It doesn't take you all the way back to the center. I love this series of movements, whether you're on the sponge ball or the harder therapy balls, the more grippy ones. This opens up the neck and the shoulders and the upper back. Go ahead and come back to center. Look left when you come back. And the same thing. Good idea, Kathy. Switches to the other end. So remember to keep looking left while you do this series. Keep looking left. And then start to nod, chin up, chin down. Mm-hmm. Keep looking left and make a very small side-to-side movement. It's not bringing you back to center. It's staying left and then still yet another side-to-side movement. Come back to center, all the way to center, and make a figure 8 with your nose. Come back to center and make a circle in the figure 8 in the other direction. Stop what you're doing and come up to a floor seated position. We're going to do a little bit more neck work. And this isn't on your, if you ever check my class notes, this is something I just seemed right to do. It's not on my class notes. Find a floor seated position. If you're cross-legged, you may want to sit on a brick. If you're doing a knee Z with one knee forward and one knee back, you may want to put some towels on one below the buttocks that is dropping. So whichever one you're doing, I'm gonna sit on a brick. Go ahead and sit tall. Sit on your sits bones, not your tailbone. Open your chest. You may want to bring your arms up into a cactus to start becoming familiar with the optimal front to back chest position for posture. Most of us tend to round forward, cave in. Some of us do the opposite, but I'm trying to find something right in the middle, just like Goldilocks. So go ahead and drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Stay here and breathe. Sit tall while you're doing this so you're not drooping the spine so much as just not the thoracic spine anyway. And then go ahead and take your chin a little forward towards your right armpit. So you're gonna stretch another part of the neck. Come back to the original position, right ear directly over the right shoulder. Then bring it up to center. And opposite side, left ear, left shoulder. Sit tall, everybody. So the side bending is at the cervical spine. Don't bend at the thoracic spine. And then take the chin a little towards the left armpit. Find another place to stretch. Come back to left ear, left shoulder, and then come up to center or neutral. Maybe just roll your neck around to see how you're doing here. We've done a lot of neck openers, stretches on the sponge ball, and now seated. We're going to go back and do it again. We're going to add some resistance. Drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Bring your right hand over and on the left ear. So right, yeah, same side. Now you're going to press your head up into your hand that's on the ear. Press. This is a whole different set of targets. Press up into the hand and feel the resistance there. You can let it go and do that a couple times. So press. This is a resistance stretch. The head is pushing one direction, the hand is pushing the other. You're always moving just a little bit. And now go ahead and drop your chin towards your right armpit. So we're going to find that other spot, that second spot, and add resistance. So find the spot, the forward spot, and then press into the hand with your head and press. So your hand is pressing into your head and your head is pressing into your hand. And you're forward a little bit. Just another place to get acquainted with your beautiful neck. Go ahead and let that go. Just slowly come out of that. Slowly and carefully. And then other side. So drop to the left. Put your left hand on your right ear. Stay here and breathe. Remember, you're creating some resistance here. The hand is pressing. The head is pressing into the hand is pressing into the head. Remember, this is a dance. It's not a battle. Don't go to extremes. It's an exploration. Drop your chin forward towards your armpit and then press again. The head presses into the hand and the hand into the head. Remember, this is a gentle resistance. And then go ahead and bring your head back to neutral and then come on up. Bring your hands to your heart and tuck your hands under your chin. We're going to do a floor seated. You could do this in a chair, by the way, if the floor is uncomfortable or becoming uncomfortable for you. Put your hands under your chin. This is so you don't move your chin. We're going to just move the spine. Just move the rib cage to the right and to the left. This is a small spine twist. See how far the rib cage can go without moving the chin. The chin comes along, but it doesn't go farther. Sit tall. Come back to center. Put your right hand on the floor. We're going to do a side bend. Right hand on the floor, your left hand at your rib cage like a teapot. So the hand comes down to the floor, the right hand, and you are side bending into that. You might even bend your elbow a little bit on the right. The left hand is up around the bottom of the rib cage. So bring your hand up a little, Kathy. You're like a little farther up than that. Yep. And just hold on to your rib cage. And right, that's the teapot part. That's the part that's the teapot. So what you're trying to do is do a very pure, isolated side bend of the thoracic spine. Keep your hips on the floor. Come on back up and reverse, do the other side. So the hips stay even. The left hand on the floor, the right hand at the bottom of your rib cage on the side body. And then you may want to bend your left arm a little bit. Keep the hips stable and steady. They're not moving. The pelvis does not move. And come on back. Let's try a spine twist again. The small one, the tiny one. So all you're doing is rotating your rib cage goes to the right and then it goes to the left. And underneath the rib cage, inside the rib cage, the thoracic spine is rotating left and right. And see if you have a slightly larger range of motion here now that we've done the side bend. You may or may not, but this is a great combination of work that allows us actually to move forward in a, what is that plane? The forward and backward plane. I've forgotten the name of it now. But we're doing transverse and side bending planes to allow us more spaciousness to move forward. Go ahead and come up to standing. How many people have a half round? If you don't have a half round, if you have another yoga brick, you can use that. But the half round, we're going to do just the ankle, the three-way standing three-way ankle stretch. And I love this work. I love this ankle work. Kathy, can you take off your socks? So this is better without socks on. You're going to start with one foot on, 1 foot off. So Kathy's on her right foot. The heel drops to the floor, and the front of the foot is on the top of the half round, or a brick, or a stack of towels, anything that allows you to create this calf stretch and ankle stretch. But the half round is the best tool I know for this. It's not very expensive. I think it's not even as expensive as the sponge ball. You stay here and you can do this, just pausing here is a really nice stretch for both the ankle and the calf. But we're going to go ahead and create more ankle flexion. So Kathy's going to move her ankle, flex her ankle forward directly over the toes. And notice, be sure and beware that you are using your ankle to do the movement. The knee will follow. But it's not the mover. It's not the initiator of the movement. And if your knee bothers you with this movement, then you will need to make your flexion, forward flexion, ankle forward flexion a little smaller. But do it about 6 or 10 times. And after you're finished with your repetitions here, do it again, but this time take your flexion, your ankle flexion, to the inside of your foot. And it's essentially the same movement. But it's in a slightly different direction. And it should, these inward and out, we're going to do outward next. The inward and outward flexion should actually help create a lot of strength and mobility in your ankle, a lot more. It goes the extra mile. Go ahead and switch to the outside. So it's your ankle is flexing again, but you're flexing towards, slightly toward the outside of the foot. This is probably the smallest movement that's available. And when you're done with that set of repetitions, just switch to the other foot. Switch to the left foot. The heel is dropped. The front of the foot is directly in front of the heel. So try to line up your ankle in the front of your foot and on the top of the half round. And now you can just stay here and enjoy this for a bit. And then whenever you're ready, flex forward. So ankle flexion, forward ankle flexion. So this has nothing to do with the knee. This is not a knee movement. This is an ankle movement. The knee comes along for the ride. It's secondary. And now make your movement slightly inward. So it's an ankle flexion with an inward direction, inward toward the inside of the foot. And then last in this series, go to the outside of this foot. So ankle flexion, forward ankle flexion that is angling a little bit out to the outside of the foot. So the knee does bend, by the way. The knee bends because of the ankle flexion. So it's not that the knee isn't bending, you guys. So there is a knee bend that happens here. Stop what you're doing. Take your right foot and flip it underneath you, back behind you, underneath you to stretch the back along the floor, Kathy. So remember we did this in the chair. Flip your toes. Flip your toes under. Yes. Whoops. You're going to have to hold on to something probably. because this is a balancing. As it turns out, this is a balancing exercise. Bring your toes, bring as much at the top of the foot as you can to the floor. It might not be much. And press. You can do this seated too. If this is difficult for you, because this really is a balancing exercise. If it's difficult, you could do it seated. And it's an awkward balancing exercise. Go ahead and switch sides. Oh, I see that you kept your feet up there. I didn't really cue that, but you don't have to be up on the half round. I don't even know what it would be like to be up on the half round, Kathy. This is so that you can start to massage and awaken the top of your foot, which, as you can imagine, is often protected from life by a shoe, the top of a shoe. Okay, everybody come down to the floor. We're going to close the class. That was the end of the road there. Find a comfortable supine position on your back with your legs extended or your knees bent and your feet on the floor. Make sure you're warm, comfortable and warm. I'm going to be guiding you through a series of body parts I want you to pay attention to, but not move. This is called the 61-point guided yoga nidra meditation. I'm going to stop my video. You're probably not looking at me anyway, but start your yoga nidra practice by bringing your awareness to your breath. Breathing in and breathing out. And now bring your awareness to the center of your eyebrows, center of your throat, right shoulder, elbow, wrist, right thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, right wrist, elbow, right shoulder, center of your throat, left shoulder, elbow, wrist, left thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, left wrist, left elbow, shoulder, center of your throat, spiritual heart center, right side of your chest, heart center, left side of your chest, heart center, navel center, center of your pelvis, right hip, right knee, right ankle, right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, right ankle, knee, hip, center of your pelvis, left hip, left knee, ankle, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, left ankle, knee, hip, center of your pelvis, navel center, heart center, center of your throat, center of your eyebrows. This concludes your 61-point guided meditation. Go ahead and extend your legs. And stretch. Your arms can go overhead by your ears, stretching your legs and your arms, creating some space, extra space. Oops, Kathy has a cramp. And just go ahead and stretch your body right and left and right. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Hug your right knee to your chest and then your left. Are you okay, Kathy? Okay. Both knees, hug both knees to the chest and rock slowly side to side. Yummy. And then roll towards me, towards the camera. Bend your bottom elbow so you can rest your head on your bent elbow. Stay here and take some breaths in a little fetal position. And then use your right hand to come up to seated. And find a comfortable floor-seated position. You may want to sit on a brick. I'm going to unmute everybody.
Hi.
Bring your hands. I'm going to cancel the spotlight. Go ahead. I'm going to cancel the spotlight and click on gallery. Okay, now I can see everybody. Go ahead and bring your hands to your heart. Press your palms together. Okay. Nod your head. Cervical glide. C1 glide. Nod your head. We're going to close the class by saying to each other, Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank
Namaste.
you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kathy.
All right. Yeah.
Have a good week.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Hope to see you guys on Thursday.
Yes.
I'll send you a reminder. I'm going to close out here. No, I'm going to stay in case people want. You can drop off just by clicking end the meeting, leave the meeting is what you do. I end it, you leave it.
Hey, Mom, call me later.
Okay. Well, bye-bye.
Talk to you later via
Okay,
keep in touch.
I will.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye. If anyone has anything to say about the practice today, I guess I should have said that earlier, but put it in the box. I felt a lot looser in my neck and shoulders.
The ones for the ankles, oh my gosh, they hurt so badly because my ankles are very tender.
Okay, like
Mhm.
are you in extreme pain when you do that?
I was not in, I mean, it felt good. I was pressing, a lot, so I could feel the stretch.
Okay,
But they are tender. My ankles are very tender.
you might want to take it easy because you don't want to do something that takes it too far. It'll get better soon
Mhm.
as you repeat it. Do you have one of those half rounds, or did you have a?
I had a towel. I put a towel.
Right. I want you to get
Yeah.
a half round. I actually have some extra half rounds.
Oh, okay, maybe I can get some from you.
Right. Diana, do you want to say something, or are you do you not know how to get out out of the meeting? I can tell you how to get out if you want to say
All
something.
right, sweetie. See you later, okay?
Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
You know how to get out, right?
Yeah.
Diana, if you want to get out, what you do is you click on a little, I think it's red at the bottom right of your screen. It says leave the meeting. I wonder why you're there. You don't have your video's off. Um, hmm. I don't see you. I wonder what you sort of seem locked in there, but I can't reach you. Well, I'm going to leave the meeting because, as far as I can tell, you are in some sort of limbo that will end when I leave the meeting. I end the meeting. Hope to see you Thursday. Bye.